Hey, what's going on, guys? It's me, Jedi. Today, I'm going to be talking to you guys about the dark horse state in this year's election. What state is that? Of course, the great state of Texas, where most of our history lies, and probably, arguably, the greatest state in America. So, let's go. Alright, guys. So, of course, this video might actually be kind of scaring some of you guys. Of course, when I first read about this, when I first researched this, I thought it was pretty scary too. Because Texas is usually one of those states where you can just call out the fact that they will definitely vote Republican. Because it's one of those like number one Republican states where anybody who says, okay, if the Republican Party wants to win, what's some of the guaranteed states? Of course, everybody's going to say Texas, because Texas is like a straight up state that usually most Republican Party holders win. Not this time. This time they're actually a toss-up state. And what a toss-up state is usually we have these states that are completely like booked. Like we know that California is always going to go Democrat, and we know that usually Iowa or other states like that are always going to go Republican. So we always have those specific states that are always going to go one side, where they will definitely go Democrat or they will definitely go Republican. So Texas is always one of those states where you can just close your eyes and definitely bet against the fact that they are not going Democrat and they will definitely go Republican every single time. Why? Because that's basically what they are. They're like a Republican state, and they've been going Republican for 20 plus years. And now there's a huge turn up where ever since the whole Black Lives Matter movement started, and of course President Trump hasn't been a big fan of that, and what have they been doing? Of course he supports peaceful protests, but he does not support rioting and looting. And Texas has the largest African American voting turnout. This is a huge problem. Why? Well, because of the fact that if a bunch of African American people go to voting, and they do vote, and of course they're going to support Black Lives Matter. And since President Trump isn't a huge advocate of Black Lives Matter, this is going to be really strange, and it's going to be really hard coming out of the fact that President Trump might have a lot of people who are going to be against him from Texas because the coronavirus and the pandemic has a shutdown. So there's going to be a lot of voting by mail. So many of the people or the elders or people usually who vote Republican from Texas may not be able to physically go to the ballots which they actually go to vote. And technology might play a huge issue because we know that a lot of youngsters support Biden and Democrats. So of course they're going to have all the access to technology and mails. So people who do it the old school way might not be able to get there this time because of the pandemic. All these things play a huge role. And this year, usually Texas is one of those states where it's like 70% Republican and 30% Democrat. This year, Texas is a state where we are 52% Republican and 48% Democrat. So that's like a huge toss-up. And if something goes wrong from the Republican side, if there's a huge attack on the Black Lives Matter from the Republican side, we can definitely see Texas becoming a Democratic state for this year's election. So we do not know. Right now, it's looking like a Republican state. And if I had to bet, I'd probably say that Texas would be like a Republican state. But this year's dark horse, which usually it's not, but this year, I think we can bank on Texas. So whichever party wins Texas is most likely going to be winning the election. Thank you guys so much for listening, guys. I really hope you enjoyed. And make sure you guys tune in, stay tuned. I'll be updating you guys about politics, coronavirus, and Black Lives Matter until it ends. And after that, we will definitely go back to having our normal talks where we talk about things that go on in our world. Other than that, guys, thanks so much for watching. I will see you guys tomorrow. Make sure you guys subscribe. Follow me on Instagram at Jedi.Solomon. And DM me there. Comment here. Anything you want to do. Other than that, I'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye.